Welcome to all Brunei Darussalam delegates. Welcome to all Singapore delegates. Malaysia delegates. Welcome to all Philippines delegates. All Laos delegates. Welcome to all Vietnam delegates. Welcome to all Myanmar delegates. Welcome to all Cambodia delegates. Welcome to all Thailand delegates. Welcome to Yogyakarta on Senior Official Meeting on Rural Development and Poverty Eradication, SOMRDPE Indonesia 2023. That was a performance from our friends from EZ Yogyakarta, on Tarian Nusantara, and also welcome dance to all of you delegates on SOMRDPE Indonesia 2023.
Selamat datang di acara Senior Official Meeting on Rural Development and Poverty Eradication. Saya Edi Sumantri akan kembali mengarahkan langsung acara ini. Let's enjoy the show and take your time. Audio standby. Audio standby. Lighting standby. Grafik standby.
Good morning and welcome to SOMRDPE Indonesia 2023 Senior Official Meeting on Rural Development and Poverty Eradication Indonesia 2023. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to greet our honorable guests on this event, Minister of Villages Development of Disadvantaged Regions and Transmigration of the Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Hanaris Kausa, Dr. Andes Abdul Halim Iskandar, MPD. Good morning, sir. Give big applause to Mr. Abdul Halim Iskandar, MPD, our Gus Menteri. And then the Honorable Special Staff Governor of Special Region of Yogyakarta, Dr. Eti Kumalawati, MKes, on behalf of Governor of the Special Region of Yogyakarta. To Mrs. Eti Kumalawati, give big applause on today's special event. And then, good morning and welcome to SOMRDPE 2023, the Secretary General of Region Banks Association, Mr. Yudi Renaldi. Give big round of applause. Our next honorable guest is the chair of SOMRDPE, and in this event was represented by Deputy Head Global Integration and Investment Division, International Cooperation Department, Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mrs. Dinti Tan Huyen. Give big round of applause for Mrs. Dinti Tan Huyen. And then our next honorable guest will be Australian Deputy Ambassador to ASEAN, Mrs. Caroline Scott. Good morning, Mrs. Caroline Scott. Welcome to Yogyakarta. And then also delegates from Asian member states, middle primary high leaders in Indonesia ministries and institution region, head of province and regency rural and community empowerment, and also head of village Asian Village Network Indonesia. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Senior Official Meeting on Rural Development and Poverty Eradication, SOMRDPE Indonesia 2023. Our next agenda, let us listen to the speech from the chair of SOMRDPE that will be delivered by Deputy Head Global Integration and Investment Division, International Cooperation Department, Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mrs. Dinti Tan Huyen. To Mrs. Dinti Tan Huyen, the time is yours.
His Excellencies Minister Abdul Halim Iskandar, Miss Caroline Scott, Miss Caroline Scott, Deputy Ambassador of Australia to ASEAN, the governors of the Yogyakarta, distinguished delegates, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my great honor to present my Director General as the chair of the SOMRDPE to send all of you my respectful greeting and also convey to all of you the best wishes from our Director General. Now he is in Rome, so he cannot attend this important event today. And thank you for the hospitality from the Indonesia and Yogyakarta to welcome all the delegates here. Ladies and gentlemen, during the ASEAN Chair of the year 2023, Indonesia has shown an active role in the host and launching many initiatives to revise together after the COVID-19 pandemic, especially for the most vulnerable area. Thus are the poorest and the most disadvantaged, and mainly concentrating in the rural area. The village are considered as the living cell that make up the appearance of the village. And today, the term of the developing village refer to the village that have potentials to development and have the social, economic, ecological resources, but have not yet reached their full potential to promote property, developing and improve the quality of life for local people, as well as show the poverty issues. Developing villages are moving towards sustainable development goals in the direction of the connecting the sustainable development goals with the related activity and can be applied at the local level, especially from the village level. The initiatives for the setting up of the ASEAN network, ASEAN Village Networks launched by Indonesia were approved by the ASEAN leader at the 42nd of ASEAN Summit in May 2023. The ASEAN Village Networks have the village voice to be here at the local, national, and regional level also. The ASEAN Village Network is an open platform to discuss and share the knowledge on the various issues relating to the village development, poverty alleviation, and future village development policies. The establishment of the ASEAN Village Network will be an opportunity to bring together rural areas or villages in AMS to exchange the knowledge and promote the cooperation chance among the ASEAN village, contributing to the implementations of ASEAN master plans on rural development, as well as achieving the sustainable development goals, promoting the inclusive economic, social-economic development and prosperity of each country in particular and in ASEAN in general. Ladies and gentlemen, with the leading and coordinating by Indonesia, today we also sit together here and jointly launch the initiative to establish the ASEAN Village Network and discuss together to finalize the TOR of ASEAN Village Network framework, with three main areas of cooperation being implemented, including the tourist village, digital village, and one village and one product. In some countries, can call the OVOP or OCOP. They are promoting the connective and comprehensive development in the regions when the ASEAN Village Network is established. In addition, it's not only able to learn each other the experience in promoting rural economic, but also integrations of villages in the regions contributing to the maintain and strengthening ASEAN identity. Finally, I'm confident that with the highest consensus in the ASEAN's cooperation framework on rural development and poverty eradication, we will agree the TOR of the ASEAN Village Network framework, and ASEAN Village Network is expected to bring more opportunity and benefits to the village in all the member countries from the cooperation of ASEAN with other partners, including the private sector. I wish the meetings will be a success, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mrs. Din Daitan Huyen, for your remarks. And for the next speech, we'll be listening to the speech from the Deputy Secretary General, DSG ASEAN, for Socio-Cultural Community, ASCC, Mr. Ekapa Pantavong, which we will listen together through a recorded video.
Excellency Abdul Halim Iskandar, Minister of Villages, Development of Disadvantaged Regions, and the Transmigration of the Republic of Indonesia. the Governor of the Special Region of Yogyakarta, Mr. Nguyen Do Antoine, Director General, International Cooperation Department, Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development of Vietnam, and the Chair of the Senior Officials Meeting of the Rural Development and Poverty Eradication. Focal points and representatives from the SOMRDPE, representatives from the villages in the ASEAN member states, representatives from the Australian Mission to ASEAN, ASEAN partners, international organizations, and the civil society organizations. A very good morning. I congratulate the Ministry of Villages Development and Disadvantaged Regions and Transmigration of the Republic of Indonesia as the focal point to the SOMRDPE for the successfully organizing today's forum.
Indonesia sudah mencapai 69,16% dari seluruh tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan dan berhasil naik 15 peringkat dari posisi 97 pada tahun 2021 menjadi posisi 82 pada tahun 2022. Percepatan pencapaian SDGs memerlukan peran dan dukungan dari berbagai pihak di tingkat global, nasional, hingga lokal. Pemahaman tentang pentingnya implementasi SDGs harus diinternalisasi sampai level mikro. Pemerintah Indonesia telah melihat besarnya peluang kontribusi lapisan masyarakat di tingkat akar rumput terhadap akselerasi pencapaian SDGs nasional. Setiap warga negara Indonesia, termasuk yang berada di wilayah administrasi terkecil di Indonesia, yakni desa. Desa harus terlibat dalam aksi SDGs serta mendapatkan manfaat dari penerapan tersebut. Bagi Indonesia, desa memiliki dua posisi strategis. Pertama, cakupan pemerintahan desa sangat dominan, sebagai level terendah dalam penyelenggaraan pemerintahan, pemerintah desa langsung berinteraksi dengan warga dan menjadi wakil negara yang paling dekat dengan masyarakat. Kedua, hampir sebagian besar penduduk Indonesia, yakni sebesar 41% pada tahun 2022, berada di desa. Oleh karena itu, Indonesia melalui Kementerian Desa, Pembangunan Daerah Tertinggal dan Transmigrasi telah menginisiasi SDGs Desa sebagai bentuk pelokalan SDGs sampai level mikro sehingga 17 tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan tersebut dapat diadopsi, dimengerti, dan dipraktikkan dalam keseharian masyarakat desa. Pelokalan SDGs di tingkat desa tidak terlepas dari keterlibatan tokoh-tokoh masyarakat, komunitas, dan lembaga yang ada di desa. Pelokalan SDGs ini dikenal desa dengan sebutan SDGs Desa. SDGs Desa telah diterapkan menjadi arah pembangunan desa sejak tahun 2020, didukung dengan komitmen mekanisme pendataan yang bersifat bottom up oleh desa itu sendiri, serta kebijakan pendanaan pada program atau kegiatan strategis yang mendukung SDGs Desa. Inisiatif ini telah membantu desa di Indonesia untuk membuat perencanaan pembangunan yang relevan dengan potensi dan kebutuhan desa yang mendukung keberlanjutan. Hadirin yang saya banggakan, setelah selama kurang lebih 3 tahun lamanya, pandemi COVID-19 menyebar di berbagai belahan dunia. Pandemi COVID-19 telah menyebabkan banyak keterbatasan dalam segala aspek kehidupan, termasuk ekonomi yang dapat mengancam kesejahteraan. Desa juga merasakan dampak akan perubahan yang terjadi akibat pandemi. Desa memerlukan usaha strategis untuk pemulihan ekonomi di desa.
Good morning, everybody. I'd just like to begin by acknowledging His Excellency Minister Abdul Hali Eskandar, Mrs. Din T. Tran Hyun, the Honourable Dr. Eti Kumulawati, His Excellency Director General Sujitu, other distinguished partners and delegates. It's a privilege to attend this event to mark the first ASEAN Village Network gathering and related meetings, and our particular thanks to Indonesia's Ministry of Villages, Development of Disadvantaged Regions and Transmigration for your leadership and opportunity to support ASEAN on this important initiative. An initiative that will bring a local lens to our rural development issues facing villages across the ASEAN region. In the endeavour to eradicate poverty and realise the ASEAN Community Vision 2025 and the Sustainable Development Goals, I'd also like to particularly thank the organisers of last night's welcome dinner at the beautiful tourism village we went to. It was amazing views and a wonderful cultural experience, so thank you to everyone who put that together. I'm sure everyone had a great time. More than half of ASEAN's population live in rural areas, and poverty is twice as prevalent in rural towns and villages than in urban centres. These gaps and inequalities widened as a result of the pandemic, during which in the Asia-Pacific region, an estimated 89 million people were pushed into extreme poverty. But even before the pandemic, rural areas in general endured inadequate infrastructure and low access to public services and markets. Coupled with a limited labour market that's largely informal and seasonal and prone to environmental shocks, communities in rural areas are vulnerable to food and livelihood insecurity, of which women carry the heaviest burden and are most at risk. The ASEAN Master Plan on Rural Development recognises the dynamic links between rural development, agricultural development, gender, disability, social inclusion and climate change. Reducing poverty and inequality necessitates a comprehensive and integrated whole of ASEAN approach. Transformative and sustainable rural development promotes economic growth, social stability and environmental viability in our region. We warmly welcome ASEAN's efforts to establish the ASEAN Village Network that takes an integrated approach to ASEAN villages to work through shared challenges with local solutions. The network will continue to contribute to ASEAN community building and the implementation of the ASEAN Master Plan on Rural Development. Moreover, we're pleased to see the involvement of the private sector, which can be a strong driver in advancing rural economies to develop in tourism, products for market and digital infrastructure. Australia shares ASEAN's vision for poverty eradication and rural development, and as a close neighbour and partner of ASEAN, promoting economic stability through rural development is a priority for our development cooperation, as set out in our Plan of Action to implement the ASEAN-Australia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Australia has helped the initiative for ASEAN integration become a more structured, actionable and measurable mechanism to engage Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Vietnam. Since 2011, Australia has supported development of Work Plans 3 and 4 and has completed 5 in-depth assessments, including on climate change mitigation, adoption of digital technology and smallholder farmers' productivity to guide the framing of future investments across the Mekong. We've also supported financial literacy for micro, small and medium enterprises and helped farmers adopt post-harvest loss reduction technologies. This year, Australia is funding the final assessment of outcomes metrics of the IA Work Plan 3 and will support 3 further proposals under Work Plan 4, pending approval by the Joint Planning and Review Committee. These will focus on enhancing digital technology adoption in MSMEs, developing inclusive business programs and accelerating IAI implementation. Australia is committed to strengthening food security in ASEAN. Our $2.2 million ASEAN Innovate for Food regional program will deliver research and innovation for farmers, including on climate-resilient food and enhanced agro-biodiversity. Our $1.4 million support to the ASEAN Bioprotection